Good evening and welcome back to another hot episode. Episode 158, 343. I say hot because we are in Cape Town and it is burning. So if you're outside of Cape Town, South Africa, consider yourself lucky. If it's a bit cold, then hopefully the episode warms you up. I'm your host, Jason. We are back for another episode. I'm joined once again by the best sidekick a man could ask for. My co-host, AF. How's it going?
Bro, I am doing good under the circumstances. Like you said, a hot day. I don't think I've ever experienced a 43-degree Celsius day in Cape Town ever in my life. So I guess that's something to check off the list. Not that it's something that I would like to check off the list. But yeah, not too bad otherwise. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. It's obviously it's unbearably hot. But yeah, all things considered, with everything that's happening, I think I'll take a bit of heat. Still all good, still surviving. We are not alone. We have Candice May at Candice Step, our Liverpool resident for today. Candice, how's it going?
It's going well. I think we're all dying with the heat, but I think so far so good. We're expecting better weather next week. So I think if we can just get through this week. Yeah, but no, definitely hot weather. Not so good results, but yeah, we move.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think we have to appreciate this weather because once winter comes, people's going to be complaining for summer again. So kind of just remember the feeling. Remember the feeling of heat, because once winter comes, people can't complain about the rain. Yeah, so we have a really exciting episode for you. We'll obviously be chatting about the most recent FA Cup results that have happened. Since our last recording, there's been a lot that's happened, both Premier League, in domestic cups. So we have a bit of that happening. We've also got a few previews, a few big games coming up. Spurs versus Liverpool, a big game on Sunday. But that's there's a game that precedes that, and that's Man United Villa. So we'll be chatting about that. I'm sure AF's got a lot to say. It's been a while since he's watched his team. Yeah, so if anybody counting, that's the first shot. I don't think there'll be too many more of them, but let's just keep an open mind. Before we get into the actual FA Cup reviews and all of those things, Candice, talk to me. You are not only a football lover, but also a cricket lover. This last few weeks, it's been a bit up and down, a bit of a roller coaster. And yeah, last week probably wasn't the most favorable week for you.
Oh, absolutely not. But it was so weird because, the hype was there and that, not losing a game. And then the game that we lose is obviously out. And obviously with the whole tournament that's changing, where you play everybody and then you go to another. And then actually on that one, you actually knocked out. So I was thinking if they could just go back to how it was in the beginning, we would have probably gone through to the final. But obviously India, well-deserved winners at the end of the day. But I think that the tagline of chokers was so irrelevant because we just didn't stand a chance. We didn't show up on the day, fielding, bowling. It just wasn't there. And on that day, New Zealand just went out for it. So we didn't choke. We had no way. They literally just, annihilated us on the day. But I think learnings there is, I think we still don't have that killer instinct, if that makes sense, with shorter versions of it. Longer versions, we up there, but so close, but yet so far. Obviously disappointing, but lots of learnings. The team played well, and I think they've got the confidence. It's just that final edge is still not lacking. India's been there so many times. New Zealand's been there so many times, and obviously us not getting go just for that finish line. But I mean, the boys can still be proud of themselves. But I think the choker line can't be tagged with this performance. Definitely not. Well, in my opinion.
I think the choker line can be used for New Zealand instead now, to be honest.
Exactly.
Look, I don't watch much cricket, but I think in the leading up to the semi-final and things like that, I heard that New Zealand kind of changed the way that they view cricket. They sort of specialize in the T20 structure and format. So yeah, I think that's fine. I think you understand that your skill set isn't made for the ODI and even the Test cricket. So you then specialize in the more exciting format, and I mean that happens. So yeah, I think South Africa can be proud because we did kill off that choker title when we won in that most recent tournament. So yeah, there's always that. But before we get into the actual preview and all those things,
I was just going to say, if you want to catch like a detailed discussion about that, you can check out our finale of the Six and Out podcast with Ziad and Khalid from Cricket Fanatic Magazine. I just post the link now in the live chat, so you
Yeah.
can head over there and you can check that out when you have some time.
Perfect. You see, now this is why I said in my intro that he's the perfect sidekick and the best co-host, because I was going to bring that up. I was going to say, if you're new, we do cover a full recap of that tournament. But also, if you haven't liked, subscribed, shared, then please do that. Welcome to the channel. If it is your first time here, we hope that you stay and we hope that you comment and interact. So, Abe, I'm going to jump to you. And this isn't a shot, but I know you had a free weekend. Did you catch any FA Cup games? Anything that stood
I
out for
did.
you?
Yeah. I caught some of the FA Cup games. I mean, um, I think I watched a bit of your game. I definitely watched the Chelsea Wrexham game because I
Mm.
mean they sort of advertised that as the Hollywood game, and
Yeah.
not really much of a Ryan Reynolds fan. So to see his team lose, that was pretty amazing. Probably the one and only time that I'll be a Chelsea supporter ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, very rare occurrence. But yeah, I caught some of it. I like that VAR was used in the correct manner in that game.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, other than that, not not really, not really. Didn't really catch much other football.
Okay. No, fair play. I think the Wrexham game was a really good one in the way that Wrexham played. I think the red card definitely probably diminished their chance, and then that pedigree
Yeah,
came through in that extra time period. Also, just that depth that Chelsea were able to introduce at that time. I mean, João Pedro scoring, I think, the 120th minute or something like that. But to have a play like that,
yeah,
as informed as he is, to basically be coming off the bench to wrap it up, that's something that you can only dream of. You know, that sort of depth. I suppose the hater in me wanted Wrexham to win, not because I like Ryan Reynolds or anything like that, but just because I don't like Chelsea. So yeah, unfortunately that didn't happen. Other close games, obviously ours ran a bit close at the end. No talk about set pieces, open play goals. I didn't recognize my team, so that was a bit weird. And then against Sunderland, really big result for Port Vale on what can only be described as a cabbage patch, eh? Really, like, almost non-league type football grounds, but I think that's the
yeah,
beauty of this FA Cup competition in that you get everybody. You could either go to the Emirates, you could go to Anfield, you could also go to Port Vale, and you could go to Mansfield Town where they don't have the similar resources and infrastructure. So I think that is the beauty of it. Candice, I'm going to come to you because you had a chance to enact revenge on Wolves very quickly after what had happened. Talk us through just
Yeah,
leading up to the game and how you felt going into that game.
it's so weird because obviously it's three games. I think three matches in 7 days, and obviously with the first match, I would have taken actually a draw or the 3 points more than that
Yeah.
3 goals versus that we scored in FA. So
Yeah.
again, with them, it's the inconsistency. Like, okay, we're playing the exact same team, and obviously Wolves probably thought,
Yeah.
okay, it's going to be the same, and then obviously that's not happening. But I think just getting over the line, getting the FA, but now obviously now what's the next round? And obviously what happened afterwards was last night's exact same thing. So it's like the high comes with we still don't have a game plan. As an example, we don't know what 11, as an example, that he's actually going to put on the field and how we're actually going to play. Still injuries out there. But I think, okay, we're now in the FA now, and now, okay, now what's the next step? Now the next step is obviously now City. And then obviously what's the next step after that? Obviously still Champions League, but this is the inconsistency. So great that we won that FA, got to the next round, which is the fourth round. I think we play April sometime with City, but it's like there's still for me nothing to celebrate. Just because the way our team is playing, or the way my team is playing, still no identity. So I'm not like, oh, we back, we're not back, as an example. So it's
Yeah.
still a
Yeah.
we're moving squad, as an example. But I don't think much is going to change based on the management that we have currently and just the way that the team is structured, not making the changes we needed to. Our best player didn't even play last night. He was the best player at the FA, which was Rio. Didn't even start, nor did he come on last night. It was just like take 4 steps back, and then the next game 2 steps forward, and the next game 10 steps back again. So it's that you don't. I think City's also. I think Pep will also be very cautious. Yes, he's not going to be. I don't think that's a blessing in disguise that he won't even be on the field. I think he'll be in the stadium because obviously he's on suspension. But now the irony, we've got our assistant coach that will be there. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game, definitely. But great for the next round. But the confidence, I think, for me is there because of the way the team is currently playing.
Yeah. Yeah, AF, I just want to jump to you just on Liverpool, and obviously, no, it's not your favorite topic to talk about. Do you agree that there's kind of no idea who the best 11 is? And okay, maybe they were hamstrung by the fact that Isak is out and Wirtz had that extended period when they were just sort of developing some sort of rhythm. Do you think they have enough in the current setup that they have to kind of maintain a push in the Champions League, maintain a push in the FA Cup, whilst also making that race for that European spot?
No, they definitely do. I think the fact that like Isak is injured and Wirtz got injured, like you still have there's still enough quality in that team. Like Candice brought up Rio Ngamoa. You played against Wolves and he was easily, like by and large, the best player on the pitch.
Yeah.
And every time that he's come on as well, like in the last couple of games, he's come on for the last like
Yeah.
in 15, 20 minutes of a game, and he lights the team up a bit. He sort of galvanizes the team to like do better as well. And I don't know what Slot has against him. I saw a post, something about like all of these like youth players that like won the FA Youth Cup like a couple of seasons ago, and majority of them have either left the club or he just doesn't have any like faith in them. Kwanzaa, he saw him for like a game or two, and he just got rid of him immediately. Trent Alexander-Arnold left. Rio's like very much out of favor. He gets like the odd game or two. So I don't know what it is about Slot and not trusting the youth that Liverpool are producing. But yeah, like besides Rio, there's so much quality in the squad. Another manager would easily get this team playing beautiful football, like getting 3 points on the daily or on the weekly. And I don't know what it is about him being so stubborn, because last season he basically just picked up where Klopp left off. He played the same brand of football. He had the same players. He had Luis Diaz. He had Mo Salah in form. Granted, Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk were chasing contracts that time, so obviously they're upping their performances, and then they got the contracts, and they've sort of tapered off quite a bit, both of them. But yeah, there's still enough quality in the squad to take the team or to push them towards that top 4 spot.
No, for sure. Okay. I want to leave a bit more about the Liverpool discussion because there are a few points that you brought up that I want to talk about, but we'll leave it for the preview. I just want to chat quickly about that fixtures now for this next round. Candice had alluded to Liverpool playing City, which is probably the pick of that round. We've got Chelsea against Port Vale. I would have loved to see Chelsea go away to Port Vale. That would be nice to see how they handle that. But I suppose they played away to Wrexham. Can't have it all. I think those two play each other in the semis. So we know of that game. We know Liverpool City play each other at Wembley. And then the other two games, we've got Southampton against Arsenal. So yeah, on the face, definitely I'd say the easier of the draws, but I know that Southampton at St. Mary's over Arteta's spell hasn't been the most successful time. So yeah, there's a bit of apprehension. A bit of nerves because if there's a bird there and somehow Ramsdale plays, he'll get distracted. So that always rings very clear in my mind. And then the other game, which I really think is an interesting one, is West Ham and Leeds, right? So both teams are sort of flirting with that relegation spaces. For them to get to the quarterfinal, it's just one of those seasons, where the league form is bad, but the cup form, there's that extra bit. And West Ham against Brentford on Monday night was a really good game, and I'm not sure if any of you guys caught it, but those West Ham penalties, they look like they'll wear teams down and just go to penalties, because those were 5 of the best penalties I've seen in a long time. So, yeah, definitely the game for me after the City Liverpool will be the West Ham Leeds, just for what it means for the season and in the running, and yeah, just also what it would mean for them in terms of confidence going into that relegation fight, and especially with Spurs hovering there. I need something. I've got prayers that need to be answered for that Spurs team. So yeah, we are definitely going to keep that one in the back of our mind. I think April 4th is when those fixtures are supposed to happen. Candice, just briefly, you mentioned Pep is going to be suspended. How is the suspension working? Is it just a domestic cup thing, or
Let's
because
say
he
FA
now
because I
misses?
think it's FA.
It's
Okay,
it's one FA Cup game and one
yeah,
Premier League game. So it's 2 games.
one FA Cup game, one Premier.
Yeah.
Okay, so he sits on the bench for Carabao Cup, but FA Cup specifically, he then misses, right?
I think so,
Yes,
yeah.
because he's
Yeah,
not.
Carabao
He
Cup,
won't be with us.
Carabao Cup he's in the dugout. FA Cup
Carabao is no doubt. Okay.
yeah, he's in the stands, and Premier League is in the stand. Like 2 games, yeah.
That is weird. And yeah, that then adds so much more intrigue to that Pep Linders being the head coach on the day versus all of his four, well, not all of them, but at least
Exactly.
most of the players. So that's definitely one to keep out. We'll obviously get to that preview when it gets closer to that time. We'll have a whole thing on that. But yeah, let's jump back to the Prem. With the team that was probably in the best form in recent weeks. And we spoke them up quite a bit. And no, we're not talking about Arsenal and their set pieces and their own goals. We're talking about Man United. AF's Benjamin, Sesko, and Co. It looked like you were heading for a draw last week. And then just one counter attack seemed to be your undoing. Talk us through that last 5 minutes.
You want to really open a closed wound, eh? Like I just about got over that William
It'll
O'Sullivan.
never be closed if I'm here.
Since that game, like he started 2 games and he's been like basically invisible in both of them. So it had to have been against United where he scores like this worldie. But yeah, like I mean it's the second time now against 10 men for majority of the game, and we can't see it off. I don't know if there's like a mental thing with this team when they go when they have an opponent that's down to 10 men for such a large chunk of the game. I mean the teams know how to set up against United when they are in
Yeah.
that position, and I mean like Carrick's gonna need to learn. I mean he's still learning. He's learning on the job, and for the most part he's done really well with his team. Uh, I, Paul Scholes like had that Instagram post where he spoke about like United not really playing well for the last 4 games, but we've been lucky. And
Yeah.
I mean it's true. Like we've grinded out victories when we haven't been playing well. But I think that's like a testament as well to the coaching and to the players, like the way that they are playing for this manager. I think
Yeah.
that they have a bit more respect for him than they had for Ruben. And I think that he's more of a man manager than Ruben was as well. Ruben seemed like
Yeah.
a technical guy, all about his system, more about like where players should be on the pitch. Whereas Carrick just seems like a guy like, okay, he's gonna take you one side, he's gonna talk to you,
Yeah.
he's gonna probably tell you a couple of things on how to improve and stuff like that. So I think those are the smaller things that that he's gonna try to do differently. And I think the players see him in a different light as well. So, but like on the game, I mean, like Newcastle did really well when they went down to 10 men. I mean, I would have liked them to have the same performance like they had against City over the weekend in the FA Cup as well. But yeah, we can't hope for things like that all the time. They did play really well against Barcelona last night as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I said last week on the show, they are a roller coaster team this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I think the result was a fair one at the end. Like we
Yeah.
really didn't deserve anything more than that. If we got away with a
Yeah.
draw, I think that I would have been okay with it. If we got away with a
Yeah.
win, I think that would have been daylight
Yeah.
robbery completely.
No, for sure, for sure. Candice, we obviously haven't. You've been on before, but you haven't. There has been a window that you haven't been on for, and I think in the time that you were here, they didn't have Carrick, they had Amorim, and has Michael Carrick's structure and tactics and Man United's form surprised you? Has it concerned you?
Absolutely.
Has it put a bit of fire under
Absolutely.
Liverpool's belly? Yeah.
Yes, I don't think like it wasn't the players. Like, and I think that's the same thing with Liverpool. It was literally just the coach and the belief. Because like the players, they
Yeah.
play for the coach.
Yeah.
Once they did the switch, it was like an instant. It was a mind shift psychologically. I think the fans as well. I don't know how many fans I now have for the past 2 months that came out of the woodwork. No offense to United, but I think that the passion was more back there with the fans, and I think that is because they're getting the results. And with United, it's always been about the results at the end of the day, because they're not winning trophies now, but it is going to come because the results are speaking for themselves now. Like, look, they were third last week, as an example. Who would have thought that 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Like, nobody at all. So it just shows you in an instant how quickly things can change. I think the same with Chelsea when they did the switch of the coach as well. Yes, I still not fancy Chelsea, but for me, I can definitely see with United. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in May. We play them in May at, I think, Old Trafford. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do not have any confidence because I know at the end of the day that United, they've got nothing to lose and they've got everything to prove. So I think that is also because now the coach is actually believing they are actually scoring goals and actually defending now, which never been done before. So I think, yeah, definitely. Welcome back to midweek football and no longer Thursday football. It's going to be the reverse now. I hope not for Liverpool next season, but it's going to be interesting to see how the top four actually finishes because it might be a goal difference. It might be one
Yeah.
where it was, clear winners and then second, third. It is literally top four fighting for second, third, and fourth, I think. And that's just based on United. It's United winning games and obviously Chelsea winning
Yeah.
games and Liverpool.
Yeah.
What has inspired the past 2 months.
No, for sure. I mean, look, you mentioned about Carrick, being over man manager. I think there's definitely there's some similarities to Ole's time when he was in as well. He had a lot of man management to him, and that worked well for him. And you could see that it definitely galvanized the team. Yeah, you're up to third now. You joined with points. You joined on points with Villa. Liverpool and Chelsea are 3 points behind you. And if I'm not mistaken, Liverpool play the last game on Sunday. Chelsea play the Saturday night. So there's a possibility that there could be 3 teams on 51 by the time that you guys welcome Villa.
Yeah.
What are your feelings for that? It's now gotten into a real scrap. And okay, maybe it works in your favor the fact that Unai is doing what Unai does with these teams and Villa seem to be falling apart at the seams. But are you quietly confident going back to Old Trafford?
I don't think I'm ever confident about a game this season. So, I mean, like the
Nobody
last
is.
time out, I think Villa lost to Chelsea 4-1. That was an
Yeah.
absolutely horrible performance from them. And I think that this game is much bigger for them. Like they know what's on the line. They win this game, they're back into a sort of comfortable position in third.
Yeah.
And they can chill again for the next week before their next team comes along. And when it comes to United, I think teams just sort of pull their socks up a little bit higher, make sure that they get their 10 out of 10 performance. I mean, the last time out, Morgan Rogers scored those 2 identical goals,
Yeah.
just cutting in, curling into the top corner. So
Yeah.
let's hope that they learned their lesson and they prevent him from doing that cut in this weekend. But yeah, I'm not confident. I just hope that they've used this time now. This past week, they haven't had any football over the weekend. So they've had like about a week and a half to prepare for this game, to mentally prepare for it. I think
Yeah.
Aston Villa as well. They didn't have any FA Cup game as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think both teams will come in pretty fresh, but let's hope that the Old Trafford crowd gets behind them and sort of galvanizes them to keep that third position.
No, for sure. We've long spoke about the fact that when a new manager comes in, you need the time And this is what Carrick has been afforded. So I think in
Yeah.
both Man United and Villa's case this time, they've now had a period to reflect on maybe results that they didn't expect. And yeah, it's definitely going to be a mouth-watering one. Candice, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Do you have a prediction for us? And if it's not going to be a Bruno Fernandes goal or assist,
The
is there somebody else that you can earmark to have a goal?
I really don't know. I wouldn't even say. What's the one that scored the game against Newcastle? Probably him.
Who scored the
If
game?
talk to me, who was it? Was it Cunha? No, not Cunha.
It
It
was
wasn't
Casemiro.
Sesko. Casemiro.
Yes, yeah,
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Set piece.
Casemiro either.
Yeah. From the
probably.
okay,
But definitely, I feel United should win the game. On paper,
okay,
they should, just based on their
okay.
previous performance. And I think also because they're playing at Old Trafford and they know what's at stake. Like they really believe that they can
Yeah,
play Champions League next season. So, like I said, it's up
yeah,
to them all their remaining
yeah,
games. So,
yeah.
not saying there is no pressure, but I think compared to Villa, yeah, they should be able to walk away with the 3 points comfortably if all goes
Okay,
well.
okay. Do you have a score line for me? Is it just gonna be a
I'll
1-0
probably say 2
Casemiro?
1. I'll probably say 2-1 because I think Villa will also come out. I'll say 2-1 to
Okay,
United. But I think it will
okay,
be towards the end. I think it will go toe to toe with each other.
okay, okay. Hey, if I'm gonna pause you there quickly, I'm going to go with a. I think it might be a 1-1. I think the nature of the tie and possibly the pressure of Chelsea maybe winning and being tied and level on the same points. I think it will be a 1-1. Very KG affair. It will be an open game though. But yeah, I feel like a 1-1. Maybe I'm wrong. But just talk to me about who you think where the key battle is going to be, AF, and then just a little prediction.
Yeah, I think as always, like I think with majority of the games this season, like this is like any team in the Premier League. I think the battles are in the midfield. I think a lot of teams set their teams up to sort of try and dominate the midfield battle and then take the game from there. But I think that if Villa can target Diego Dallo, I think that would be a very good weakness for them to exploit. And like I mean, going forward, like he offers some things here and there, but if
Yeah,
I think if Carrick had any sort of like metal, like he would start Mazraoui at the right back spot, Luke Shaw in the left
yeah,
back spot, because I feel like Leon Bailey, Morgan Rogers, they like whoever's going to be playing on each wing, if they're going to interchange or whatever it is. Diego
yeah,
Dallo can struggle, and I think
yeah,
that could be the weakness that they're going to exploit. Um, but yeah, like other than that midfield battle, Douglas Luiz
yeah,
looks like he's finally starting to get back to the player that we all knew he was. So
yeah,
Buendia as well. That like the Villa midfield is really good. The United
yeah.
midfield is starting to get back to where we hope they can sort of stay with in terms of stability. So yeah, I think that will be a really good battle as well.
Okay, okay. Give us a prediction there.
Yeah, I was gonna go with a 2-1 as well, but let's put some goals on the table. 3-2 to United.
3-2
Yeah.
to
I think,
United.
but yeah, I think it's gonna be quite tough. I think it's gonna be entertaining. I think it could be an
Yeah,
entertaining game. Um, I have a feeling that we're gonna concede like a stupid set piece with Ezri Konsa heading something like that. It's gonna be something
uh,
silly like that. But yeah, I'm hoping for a late dramatic winner, just
mm.
to get the euphoria going.
No, 100%, 100%. That's fair, guys. I know that there's not too many comments going about, but please do leave your predictions. If you do join a bit late, we're talking about United, Villa, and the race for the top four. But yeah, we'll park that now. We're going to move on to the last section where we're going to hear a bit more from Candice's diary and a journal just about, Liverpool and Spurs. Um, yeah, we go into this game. Liverpool's form has been a bit of a roller coaster. I think if I checked it correctly, it was like 5 out of 8 wins in the last few games. But I think the more concerning thing is that the 2 wins came very quickly in that Wolves, then there was a Wolves FA Cup, and then obviously last night. So we had spoken a bit about the sort of form and the structure and all of those things. Going into the Spurs game, are you a bit nervous? They are very wounded. They haven't won since,
Extremely,
I think, January. So yeah.
extremely, extremely. It's weird because I've got my godson, and like every game is like knife edge. It's like he hates losing, So it's interesting to see now, like this high of last season, and all of a sudden now it's just like, what the hell is going on? As an example, like there is no
Yeah.
structure. Here to see now, yes, we're playing in 3 different tournaments, but you at least want to still play the same type of football in the three in terms of the style, but that's not happening, as an example, just based on the
Yeah.
selection. So I hope that Rio gets some game time on this
Yeah.
week, and I really hope so, based on the form of Mo. Obviously there's been a lot of like, when do we bench him, as an example. I think if his time is up, I'm one of his major supporters, but I just think in terms of the team, and we need to finish in top 4. So do we protect most feelings, as an example, or do we actually now put the team first? He is a senior player, and he for himself. But again, when he's good, but he has not been good. So I wouldn't mind being and starting Rio, but it's just like he's so afraid to take the gamble. Like, you've got nothing to lose, bro. Like
Yeah.
is literally, we need to win.
100%.
We need to win.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
waiting for, as an example, and the fans are frustrated. I'm frustrated. It's like the whole world is coming to an end just because of this one terrible season. But I still believe in my team, and I'm still be one of the biggest supporters. But I also have to be realistic that this coach is just not working, as an example. So on the day, the weekend, we'll obviously be supporting. But I think I also not. It's the players for me also. I feel like, yes, we can blame the coach to an extent, but for me, the players as well last night. For me, the players weren't up to standard, including Virgil, our captain, Konate, Afik, McAllister, the same. So it's just like, they also need to take accountability and not only have sort out. You get paid lots of money to pitch up.
Can I ask a question? Like the game last night, there was that mistake from Konate. Galatasaray scored a second goal, but it was disallowed. It was disallowed for offside. Like I didn't understand how that offside worked, because the player that was offside, he didn't really interfere, or he didn't touch the ball at all. Or did I misunderstand how that entire phase of play worked?
So I don't know, but to my understanding, he sort of went close to Konate, but then once Konate got the ball and he passed it back, that technically played, I think it was Noah Lang. That played Noah Lang onside then, because it's a back pass and you can intercept the back pass. So that was my understanding. I didn't get all the comms about whether it was that player that ran first. Liverpool definitely got away with that. I mean, if it was that, then okay, fair. But that's also like I think he was a decent distance from Konate.
Yeah, like 100%. But like also, that's like another thing. Like Konate's been making these mistakes throughout the season, and I think a lot of the opposition players, they come up against Liverpool and they know that they're going to be targeting Konate, because they know that he has a mistake or two on him every single game.
Yeah. Nah, that's fair. And I think it's maybe last season you don't feel it as much, because maybe he didn't make as many mistakes, but he made a few. But you then just take him out, you bring in Kwanzaa, you had Joe Gomez, who could maybe slot in a bit more consistently and things like that. But the nature of Liverpool's squad rebuild this season has been very offensive minded and not defensively. So you are now getting exposed with a guy who's maybe short of confidence. And I mean, he had his father's passing, which is understandably quite a big mental burden on him. So also it is a time where you want to remove him and actually give him a chance to fully process that and process all of those emotions and things of that nature. So yeah, I think you kind of have Verge who's not playing to the level that we sort of have seen. You have Robertson who's in and out of the team, and Kirkes who also seems to be a bit costly. So maybe Verge's attention is covering that left. Konate is having to cover whichever right back it is. whether it's a Boschlei, Frimpong, Bradley. So, yeah, a big theme is probably the inconsistency in team selection, and that's showing. And yeah, 100% agree. Teams are now finding it out, and they're just going to keep kind of putting the defense under pressure. And
Yeah.
I think that's the more worrying thing, because I don't think you lack in the offensive sense. At any minute, Liverpool could turn it on, but defensively, you're also giving up quite a bit. What was the reasoning for Allison not making the trip? Was that illness? Was it a family
Apparently,
thing?
there was an injury.
Okay.
Apparently, there was an injury. That's all that we know. We don't know if it was Freud. We
Okay.
don't know what part, but apparently, he
Yeah.
was injured. So we should be playing the weekend. Apparently,
Should be okay, because also the Mamadashvili wasn't a bad keeper when I think he first came to prominence. I don't know if it was at the Euros or was it the World Cup, but then even Valencia last season, he was one of the better keepers in La Liga. But I think he's been plagued with, again, not getting consistent minutes and maybe struggling to adapt to the sort of nature of Premier League football. So yeah, to throw him in a ground that's extremely hostile as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it is only 1-0. You can go back to
yeah, it
Anfield,
could have
and
been much. It could have been much
it,
worse
it
because he
could be
literally
much
made some
worse.
mistakes.
There could have
Could
also
have been
been a
much
goal.
worse.
There was a handball that disallowed your equalizer. So yeah, it could
Yeah.
be worse. We could go to North London and talk about Spurs. If speaking about goalkeepers, did you catch last night Igor Tudor pulling off Klinsky very early? What are your thoughts on that?
I feel bad for the kid, honestly. Like, I mean, that was such bad man management to
Yeah,
take him out of the cold and to put him into this cauldron against
yeah,
Atletico Madrid away.
yeah,
I don't know what he was thinking there. Like, I know fans have been calling for Vicario to be dropped, but there's a time and
yeah,
place. Like, I mean, know when to do it.
yeah,
I don't understand. Like, I didn't understand that logic. He took him off. He didn't even go shake his hand.
Yeah,
yeah,
he was in
Nothing.
tears.
There was no empathy. It was just
yeah,
like walk down the tunnel. I saw Paulinia got up. A couple of the teammates got off the bench.
yeah,
They went down the tunnel with him because he was busy. I think he was crying at one point
yeah,
because I think that he realized that like his career is probably shattered right now.
yeah,
So yeah, extremely bad man management. I think that the club and the players need to get behind him now. I need to because I mean they need to treat it with the best sort of um like empathy that they can right now.
yeah,
I mean, like the he's suffering definitely. So yeah, I
yeah,
think that they just need to get behind him, show him the support, um, and yeah, maybe give him a couple of games in the Premier League
yeah,
now. Like, just try to get his confidence back up a bit,
Confidence back.
and
yeah.
hopefully his career can be back on track again.
Yeah, I think the nature of it, maybe he might have requested a sub, but also just from the outside, it's not a good picture. You've thrown this kid in, like you say, you've thrown him in, and then you hook him off, and then you don't acknowledge him, and now people are already running stories about you as a manager, and you're not going to be able to pull Spurs out of this. The thing about possibly giving him more games is that every game now becomes a final for Spurs because they are
Yeah,
sitting so low. So you run the risk of putting even more pressure on him, because every goal that you concede is going to be magnified, and it's going to be brought back to why did you play him in that first game. So yeah, I can't say that I'm not enjoying what's happening to Spurs. I didn't enjoy what happened last night to him. I've been a footballer. I can imagine what that must feel like to have make a few errors. And I think it's also the nature of goalkeeping is so extremely harsh, because you the last line of defense. If you don't save it, it's a goal. Everyone looks at you, but nobody looks at the fact that everything else happened prior
Leading
to
up
that. And
to
okay, yeah, maybe two of the goals were his fault because of build up, but I
yeah,
mean he's a kid. You kind of let that go. You're not gonna excuse or not excuse that, and then you wanna allow Romero for his silliness that happens every week.
yeah,
Van de Ven when he gets sent, things of that nature. So yeah, going into the game, I think Spurs have everything to play for, nothing to lose. Just literally go at it. And with the form that West Ham are picking up, and I think Nottingham Forest are in and around there as well, um, AF, do you think that they just go all guns blazing, or is it more of a tentative approach and try and maybe catch Liverpool out when they search for the goal?
The goal.
100%. I think that they are going to try to park the bus as much as they can. They're going to Anfield. I don't think that they're going to go all guns blazing. I think that they'll try to be as conservative as possible. Try to catch Liverpool out. They know that Virgil and Konate, they tend to play quite a high line at times. Um, they have somebody like Xavi Simons, Kolo Muani. They have like the pace to try and like play off that final shoulder.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna more or less be the approach. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like all out attack.
Okay.
I would be very surprised if they go that route.
Yeah. Okay. Now, fair play. Then, do you want to venture us with a bit of a prediction there? Liverpool against Spurs at Anfield?
I don't think Spurs wins this game. I think it's going to be probably a 3-1 Liverpool win.
Okay.
You're very generous.
Nah,
Okay,
I'm
Candice,
thinking about like
you saying that
how
it's generous?
Spurs
Okay, yeah.
are playing at the moment. That's my thing. Like Spurs aren't like filling me with any sort of confidence right now.
Yeah.
They aren't making me optimistic about like where they'll
Yeah.
end up finishing. I think
Yeah.
if they are still within these positions, like at the end of April, I think the fans have every right to be extremely scared of
Yeah.
what the possibility is. But yeah, right now they look a team like void of any confidence. I think that the manager doesn't know what to do. I think the club doesn't know what to do, because if the
Yeah.
manager doesn't work out, what are they going to then do? Like, they sack him, and then who do they end up getting? Probably the person that they should have gotten in the first place. He's coming with yes, it's a similar sort of formation that Thomas Frank played, but the system is
Yeah.
completely different. So yeah, I think that the club is completely lost. The club is a mess, and I don't think the fortunes are changing this weekend.
No, that's fair. Candice, you said that he's generous. Do you think that you won't
Yes,
concede?
we
Do you think you
struggled to
won't score
score.
3?
I don't think we'll score 3. We couldn't even score 1 last night. But anyway, yeah, I'd probably go with like we'll definitely concede. This is now Liverpool, so I think I'll go with a 2-1 to Liverpool. I'll be happy even with 1-0, actually. Just 3 points.
Okay.
3 points, just 3
I-
points. Just 3
I
points.
think
just 3
Ekatike
points.
looks at this defense and he's probably licking his lips, because
Yeah.
he knows that Romero's always keen for a rash challenge. And
Yeah.
Ekatike has probably some of the quickest feet that I've seen in the Premier League this season. He's so nimble and
Yeah, but
he's quite skillful. So he knows that if he sort of entices Romero for like a rash challenge, he could get away with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, Spurs are down to 10 men. So
Yeah.
I think that the Spurs defense is going to have a huge role to play in this weekend's game.
Nah, fair play. Fair play. I'm gonna go goals. I wanna go with your prediction you had for United. I think it's gonna be 3-2. I think both teams are just gonna go for it. I think Kinski, if he does play, has a better game, obviously. But I think Liverpool will definitely be up for it, especially if Chelsea do win, and then City, or I'm not City, United or Villa get something out of that game that precedes this one. So yeah, I'm gonna go 3-2. But yeah, looking forward to it. I think it will be a good weekend of football. But that is us. That's 158 done. Candice, where can the people find you? Anything exciting happening? Not in your personal life, obviously, in your sport commitments or anything of that nature. You don't need to give any details.
Nothing exciting on my side. I think probably the most that you'll get from me now is obviously just finishing top 4 for Liverpool. So a lot of my content on all platforms has probably been that, and obviously Champions League football. We have got some cricket games coming up in Newlands, so you'll definitely see me there. We've got some games at Newlands coming up, but that's it from our side. So that's where you'll technically see me.
Perfect. AF, last 10 days of Ramadan. After that, where can the people see you and find you?
No, they can find me at AF Parker 642 even during Ramadan. I'm still tweeting, I'm still threading, I'm still doing all of those things. And the Netflix One Piece live action season 2 also dropped yesterday. Um,
Okay.
so I uploaded 2 interviews that I did at Comic Con, not last year, the year before, with a couple of the cast members. So that is live on That's Geeky AF if you want to get check those out as well.
Hey, if
Perfect.
you do
Perfect.
Comic Con, I was last year. That's so cool.
Every year, every year.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
I'll look
Last
out
year
for
was
you
my
this
Very
year.
good.
second time. Last year was my second time. I don't know. I need to get an outfit. I need to get the
Okay,
outfit.
looking forward to see.
Nah, perfect, perfect. That's what Sportycast does. It brings people together with different interests, and then you find out they actually have similar interests. So yeah, I'm at Jason underscore Ronnie. There's a bit of golf that is coming, so I'm doing a lot of retweeting about that. Myself and Ziad, one of the other hosts. But yeah, we'll be still tweeting about all of the running. I'm making it my mission after every Premier League game to kind of put my thoughts out there with the sort of results that happen and all of those things. At Sportycast on all of the major platforms, we are so appreciative of all support. We've got a lot of things coming up, so please just watch the channels. We'll be posting a bit more. And yeah, thank you, Candice, for jumping in. AF, as always, it is a
Thank you
pleasure.
so much.
We'll make sure that the next time you're on, there isn't such a big gap between, because maybe Liverpool gets a new manager and we need to talk about that. Maybe United get a new caretaker coach. Who knows? But let's make sure that the gap isn't as long as the previous one.
And
Thank
Arsenal
you,
might win the
everybody.
league. You never
It could
know.
be that as well. And I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on that, Keith, when that happens.
Oh, we're
But
never
yeah,
gonna hear the end of it. It's almost time. It's
I
almost
will
time. How
be
many more
as
games?
humble as
I don't
ever.
know.
Famous last
Never,
words.
never. Oh, 20 years.
22
Never,
years of
never.
pain and hurt,
22.
22
bottled up.
years, I'll be humble, guys. Please, please.
Never. I doubt it.
Um,
But thank you so much.
but yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, everybody in the chat and the subscribers. And also, we'll see you next week.